Hi everybody, Matt here with Dutch Oven Today. Today we're making chicken pot pie in the Dutch oven. And let me tell you, it's awesome. I know because I got second place in a Dutch oven cooking contest with this recipe. Sadly not first. Anyway, step one. Start up a big pot of boiling water. And step two, we're going to go ahead and light our charcoal chimney. I like to light it in a couple of places. And I stuff the bottom with loose sheet or two of newspaper, roughly crumpled up, stuffed in the bottom. So now that your pot of water is boiling, I'm going to add about 4 cups of diced potatoes, about 2 cups of chopped carrots to it. And try not to get splattered. Boiling water is hot if you didn't know. Next, with our charcoal, I've got an interesting setup. If you could come around over here, camera woman. I've got my lid set on some aluminum foil to keep it clean. Then we're going to go ahead and add our charcoal. Try and knock it down to about an even layer. And we'll add the pot portion on top. I've already pre-oiled this pan, and once it gets hot, we're going to add a little bit of butter. Okay. Alright, now that you've been cooking your potatoes and carrots, and we've got our pan screaming hot, I've got 3 to 4 pounds of chicken that I've diced into about 1-inch cubes. We're going to go ahead and add it to our pot and let it cook up. Now, if you want a really knock your socks off addition to your chicken pot pie, at this stage you can also add some diced bacon. I'm out of bacon, which is why it's not in this recipe. But bacon makes everything better. Now that our chicken's cooked down a little bit, I've also added some salt and pepper, and I've got about half an onion and a couple sticks of celery diced up, and we're going to throw that on in here too. Going to let these cook down, building another layer of flavor. Now that we've cooked down our onions and celery a little bit, we've got plenty of juices. This doesn't always happen. It depends on the cut of chicken you're using. I'm using chicken thighs. You can use breasts if you like white meat more, or if that's just what you have on hand. And to this we're going to add about 2.5 tablespoons of butter. Yay. We'll move it around, let this get melted down. And we're going to use this to begin to build our gravy. There we go. Melt it in, and we're going to add a roughly equal parts flour. So 2 tablespoons of butter, about 2 tablespoons of flour. But because of all the extra fat that's cooked off of the chicken, I've got a little extra flour, and I'm just going to work it in little by little until, instead of looking thin, it begins to really thicken up and just kind of stick everything together. Still thin in a couple places. A bit over there. Does that smell good, kiddo? I'm just going to add all of it in. Just like I said, keep in mind that it doesn't always use all of the flour. I've also, if my camera person will follow me over here, I've also removed from the heat and drained our potatoes and carrots. You just cook them until they're nice and soft. Not too soft, not fall apart soft. Firm, but nice and chewy. Now to our chicken mixture, which is in French cooking, the butter, fat, flour mixture is called a roux. Don't ask me to spell it, I don't speak French. But we're going to work a little bit of milk in at a time. Just add your milk, stir until it's mostly absorbed. And then just add a little bit more. And we're going to do this, constantly stirring, constantly moving stuff around. Try to break up any chunks of your chicken that might be clumping together, or your vegetables that have been sticking. I need to put a little bit more? Okay, my daughter says I gotta put a little bit more.
What's the consistency you're going for here?
You're going for whatever gravy consistency you prefer.
Makes you happy.
Whatever makes you happy. A little bit more. I think this is just about right, kiddo.
Ellie, is it gonna be delicious? Can you say delicious?
Delicious.
Good job, kiddo.
That's right.
All right, and we're gonna let that sit for a minute, bring it back up to a simmer, hopefully. And I've got my daughter playing over here next to me. Sorry about the lighting. I've added a little bit more milk after it's simmered down. And hopefully my spoon doesn't melt. And add just a little bit of chicken bouillon, however you like it. Cubes, or I like the powder.
Do you like powder?
Yeah, I like the powder.
Oh, I like it. I like it. I like it.
And we're going to let that combine just for a minute, and then we're going to add the rest of our vegetables. Now, got our pot of potatoes and carrots. Going to add that right on in. I've also added a little bit extra pepper. I'll add. Going to go ahead and stir this in. And if you stick tight, I've got one last ingredient to add, and then we'll be ready for the main event. Now, last thing putting in is about a cup of frozen peas. Now, if you really want, you could use canned. Heck, you could even use canned chicken if that's your inclination, or if you're in that kind of situation. Got frozen peas. I like their consistency a little bit better than the canned. So just mix those in. I've gone ahead and removed the pot from our heat, and we're going to go ahead and set this up for baking now. So I'm going to put about 9 coals on bottom.
That helps. Yeah, I don't like those.
You don't like these, kiddo? Well, we need them to cook our dinner.
Oh boy, I like those.
Put that there.
Oh.
And we're going to want, if I recall correctly, about 19 on top.
I don't have it. Yeah.
So I've taken a pre-made pie crust, and I just cut it into strips. One thing I didn't mention about the gravy was you want to make sure you build it up enough that everything's going to get a nice coating of gravy, but you don't want to build it up to the point where your pie crust will actually be submerged underneath it. Otherwise, it becomes more of a noodle than a pie crust. So we're going to ahead and cover that up, and we're going to let it bake about half an hour. And the trick that helps make sure of even cooking is halfway through your cook time, just rotate your lid quarter turn and rotate the oven. About a quarter turn. I hope I got that on camera. Sorry if I didn't. But that helps prevent hot spots. Dun dun! Check that out. We got some chicken pot pie. Yeah, some of the strips did sink in a little bit, but for the most part, it's crispy and delicious. Now, extra trick, my camera will pan down here. We could go ahead and just put those extra hot coals. Usually better if you don't drop the lid. But put the extra hot coals onto the aluminum foil that we've been using. Just scoot these on over too. You can fold your foil over, and it'll help you if your foil will fold over. Sometimes it's a toss-up, but it allows you for easy cleanup of your ashes. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it.